Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal studios. We're hanging out here in a very special edition of Pacer Pride. You know that Pacer Pride is exclusive in our multimedia marketing partnership with Marywood University, my alma mater, as I am a proud alum graduating in 2007. And we tell the stories of student athletes, coaches, and administration all throughout Marywood University in these shows called Pacer Pride. Well, today we get to make history as we are picture in picture with the Marywood baseball team, celebrating Marywood tying the most records ever or most wins ever in a season with 22. And Jason Thiel's been on the show a bunch of times. Now I have the opportunity to celebrate with Vinny D'Auria, as well as Mike Aronica and Nick Notari here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. So with that being said, gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, Nick, I'm going to start with you, and I would love to get your thoughts on. We're going to go kind of all over the place here today. So, baseball for you guys was going on no matter what, right? We were getting ready for the season and whatnot, but Major League Baseball, were billionaires and millionaires fighting with each other. Were you keeping an eye on that? And what are your thoughts on, as you're getting ready to play D3 baseball, that the major leagues almost potentially had a lockout that could have been very, very debilitating to baseball?
I think, yeah, obviously, like, for like the sake of the game and like getting people to watch the game and stuff, it could have been pretty bad. But I don't really know much about the lockout. I just know that, well, it was like a labor dispute, right? I don't know. I didn't really follow it too much, so I'm probably not the right person to ask for that. But no, I'm sure Vinny knows a lot. Vinny follows that pretty hard.
All right, Vinny, throw it at me here. What were your thoughts on the fact that as you're playing baseball, those at the highest of the high in the majors had to figure out millions and billions, and we're holding up everybody?
See, I'm not sure if I ever put two and two together, like us playing versus them playing. To us, we never had to worry about a lockout ever being the case, thankfully, because we already missed so much baseball throughout our careers with COVID and everything. But my opinion with the lockout is that as amateur baseball players, we kind of find it funny that you can be paid millions to play baseball and still have something to complain about almost. So it was kind of weird. This is the first time that I've seen a lockout with the MLB. So I don't know. I thought that it should have been figured out a little sooner than it was, but I'm happy it finally was figured out. It feels like I was actually talking about it last night with my friends. I completely forgot there even was a lockout to begin with, just because we've got the season going so smoothly.
Mike, what are your thoughts on that? Like when you're out there playing, to see the fact that, you know, the highest level of baseball was on hiatus trying to figure things out, where, like Vinny said, you guys were playing for the love of the game.
It is like pretty amazing to see like some people, as what Vinny just said, like complaining about like not getting paid enough or like stuff like that, when we're almost like at this level, we're not even really getting like paid to play. Like we are just playing for like love of the game. I also don't know like too much about it, but like it is kind of crazy seeing like Major League Baseball getting put to a pause, and like you see like the amount of revenue that each team's like producing, and like they're like the capstones that each team has, and then like seeing them like not being able to pay like their players enough with like how much money they're actually getting like year by year.
We look at, like you said, you don't have pay for play. Some people think it already has become that because there's not many rules and restrictions, but name, image, and likeness is out there. And Division 1, 2, and 3 student athletes can make money off their name, image, and likeness. So if you want to talk to a business and you want to do something in that respect, you can. What are your thoughts on NIL, and what are your thoughts on the fact that if you decide to essentially kind of school yourself and be your own boss, that you could potentially make money while you play? That's you, Mike.
I think that's pretty interesting. I mean, it would definitely be like a cool thing to do. Like I personally wouldn't mind playing with a guy that like is capable to do that, because like say like even if you were the guy that's not like the face of something, or like you're not getting paid for it, like it brings like a lot more attention to like your team. And then like if you're playing well, like you as an individual, and then like I feel like that's like if you were to try and make your team getting like paid, like even just starting with one player and getting like some eyes like turned this way, like you're definitely going to get like a lot more outcomes, and like you probably will see like a lot more people at the game. So I think that would be like a cool thing, like if it actually was like to happen.
What do you think, Nick, about that? You know, the fact that there is that opportunity there for NCAA Division I, II, and III. There isn't a place for you to make something while you play, and you can benefit from it individually or as a team if you get enough people involved. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely interesting. I see a lot of like, especially D3 level, there's more like local, like bat companies say like that kind of stuff. And like, I think I saw something like there was like 570 athletes or something, and even like barstool athletes and stuff. It's definitely interesting. Like it's like a good step towards, I don't really know how to word like, so yeah, I don't really know how to word it, but like, I don't know. I think it's a good step towards like, even like not besides like the money part, like just like for D3, especially like feeling included in that is like huge. And like to see it actually like be around is cool. Like, even if like these companies are just like giving you like a shirt or something that says like Barstool athletes and stuff, like it's just definitely interesting. And it's, and like for the money part, like I see like a couple of my friends that are like at big schools, like they could sell like t-shirts and stuff, and like they make like money off it, which is like huge, because like if you're playing a sport in college, especially like D1 level, it's like basically a job. Like it's a grind. Like you're doing that in school, so like you can't work or anything.
Yeah, and you know what? I've you brought it up in a way there with D3. You know, D1 and D2 have a certain set of rules that are together, and then D3 kind of sometimes feels pushed off to the side. And I have been a proponent of changing that. And name, image, and likeness includes everyone for once, but it's been a long time since, really forever, since D3 has been treated with the respect that D1 and D2 get and given the same opportunities, which I'm very much against, because I want the student athletes to all have a great experience. And you guys have to watch film, you have to lift, you have to run, you have to practice, you have to play games, you have to travel. So you should be treated the same way because you're all student athletes. Vinny, you're nodding your head. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I completely agree with what you're saying. I think some people don't realize that as Division III athletes, we don't receive athletic scholarships. We go to school for school. That's how we decide where we're going to go in the future. And I think you're completely right. I think D3 gets pushed to the side. I think people forget how competitive and how many great athletes there are at the Division III level. And it's nice to see that we finally get opportunities to, I guess, profit off our name and likeness. Not that D3 necessarily has that much weight to it. Being D3 athletes, it holds that much weight. That's another thing I guess we get looked over by companies or whatever that would be willing to sponsor an athlete. But going to the athletes being compensated and stuff, I've written a lot of papers in class about this just because it's a topic that I've always felt so passionate about, especially at the Division I football and basketball levels, and even baseball now. It's grown so much that they're making so much money, and there's millions of dollars being passed back and forth from these companies, and these players were never allowed to receive $1 or even a meal or anything for what they're providing, the entertainment they're providing. So I think it's finally right that there is something there for athletes to be able to make a name for themselves before they necessarily go pro.
Yeah, you know, and the thing is, the percentage is so small of anybody going pro that this is your only time to make that money and to have that opportunity. So I agree with that completely. We are here today in this Pacer Pride special with a trio of Marywood baseball players, here with Vinny D'Auria, as well as Mike Aronica and Nick Notari. And Vinny, I'm going to stay with you on this. You said you go to school for school, right? Because you're a Division III athlete, you don't have a scholarship, you're not getting a free education. So you choose the school. So I want to go back to the day that you did in hindsight 2020. Why did you choose Marywood, and what are your thoughts on that?
It's funny. There wasn't much time of like debating once I saw Marywood. I talked to Coach. Coach is a great guy. He's one of the best coaches I've ever had, easiest to talk to. So when he was recruiting me, it kind of felt right. So then I looked into the school more. My major is marketing, and that's pretty broad. You can pretty much find a school anywhere that offers that. But when I stepped on campus, it was kind of just a very homey feel, very small campus, kind of tucked away. There's only a couple ways in, a couple ways out. And there's just something about walking around campus. It's very beautiful. The baseball field is impeccable. We got to give Rob Galderi a lot of credit there. He does a heck of a job maintaining that field. So I think the surrounding environment was just somewhere that I wanted to spend my next 4 years at school.
Yeah, I love that you said that, it's a campus. I visited twice, and I actually got called for basketball when Eric Grunman was there as a coach. And I visited, I just wanted to get a feel for it. I went, I think it was one of the first, if not like the first, one of the first schools that I went to see. I went with my dad, and the teacher that I met was the game changer, and Jay Hammer, and he's since passed, but he was the reason because of how he treated me and what everything was like. And so I got this like red carpet. I got there, he put his hand out. He's like, "Oh, you must be Dan Tortora." And I was like, "Why would you even know my name?" I'm just a kid walking on campus today. And they made me feel great. I remember he promised me, he said, "Through me, you will get the education you want. I will make sure you learn all the, you get to all the classes you want to go to. I'm in communications." He's like, "I'm going to make sure you get a feel for everything that you want to get a feel for." And then I went back with my mom. My mom opened the door in the parking lot, looked out, and she was like, "Yeah, he's going here." Like, she just knew, she got that feeling. And I actually had a premonition dream about this place, about Marywood. I had two premonitions, and whether or not people believe in these, this happened. So one of my dreams that I had, I was in Madonna Hall. I didn't know that. And there was a kid, I couldn't see his face, and he had his back to me, and he was bent down, and he was stapling black garbage bags to the wall. And I remember thinking, what the heck is this dream? Well, fast forward, my friend Steve, that was him. I hadn't known him before the dream. He was stapling trash bags to the wall for our Halloween, like a kind of extravaganza and whatnot. So I had that dream months before I met Steve. And then I had a dream of Nazareth, and I came around, and there was a banner, and I couldn't see the banner. It was like God wouldn't let me look around the corner. And then just for fun, I was walking one day on campus, and I went, "Wait a second." And I walked around the side, and I saw the Marywood banner that I couldn't see. So I actually had premonitions of where I was going before I went. And I know that I made the right choice. So it was kind of a unique experience. Nick, what are your thoughts? Why Marywood for you? What did it for you?
Yeah, no, kind of same as Vinny. I did my overnight with Vinny actually, and it was a family. Everyone was awesome, so nice, approachable. Coaches are awesome, and also for my major, they had my major. I'm in the PA program now, so yeah, it was great. Like everything Vinny said.
I love how Nick was like, "Vinny did it right. Let's move forward." So he said everything that needed to be said.
Yeah, no, it's yeah.
So you did the overnight with Vinny. Was that the first time you met him?
Yeah, no, yeah, it was the first time I met him, and he was roommates with a kid I went to high school with, actually, TJ Lacey. So I knew TJ, which was good. But yeah, everyone was awesome, Vinny and everyone I was with. And I went to like a practice. They took me out to dinner. It was great. I was like, yeah, I'm coming here.
How quickly did you know when you came on campus?
Pretty quick. I loved everyone. I was excited. It was definitely pretty quick.
What was the impression that Jason Thiel gave you?
Oh, he was great. He was awesome. He was so nice. He was, yeah, I mean, he was I'm trying to remember the first time I met him. I was in his office and we were just talking about baseball because I'm local, so I'm from Clark Summit.
Yeah.
So like he knew a lot of my coaches and everything, so it was like easy to relate to him. And
Fair enough. Mike, your thoughts? Why Marywood for you?
Being, I definitely knew like I was gonna stay home. Like this was like the school that like I definitely wanted to go to. Like being like I'm from Dunmore, so like I'm always like driving by campus and stuff, and like I always like liked the campus. I always knew like the baseball field was really nice here. And then like when I got into like the talks with coach, like finding out that I could play like baseball for like at least another 4 years, like that definitely really was like a deal breaker for me. Like I definitely wanted to come here and play baseball. It was like really nice. And like I was like taught, then I was like talking to him a little bit more. He was like definitely like really good with like talking about it, like saying like even if you have the chance to play at a big school, would you like it'd be like a role like a big school or like make a difference here? Like just like hearing that, it was like definitely like really inspiring to hear. And I just wanted to like try and like make an impact on the school and just make my impact on here.
I find that interesting that you said that that's what coach said. You know, he said, would you want to go somewhere else and maybe be a role person, or would you want to come here and make a difference? Do you feel that that has come through? Do you feel like you've made a difference?
I like to, I like definitely try to, but I definitely see that being like very true just because like, I don't know, with like the group of guys here and like being a pitcher, like everybody, like you'll definitely like get your chance to like show what you got. So once you do that, you kind of get like your foot in the door, and then like it's just like whatever you have from there. It's like all up to you.
Mike, do you now, obviously, Nick and Vinny talked about their first experience meeting each other and coming on a visit at the same time. Were you on that same, or did you come at a different time?
I did not do an overnight here, but coach actually had me like meet a few of the guys, and like I still remember like meeting like some of the guys, like going over to hang out at like a bit like one of like the baseball houses with where like all the kids like lived, like meeting everybody, and like it definitely like made you like feel at home. Like I still like distinctly remember like even like hanging out with like some of like the seniors that graduated when I was like a freshman, like the impact that they had on me. Like it definitely was like it was like a strong like feeling. Like I definitely was like leaning towards that. It was almost like I just kind of felt like I just stepped from one school to the other and like already had like a bond with like the guys on the team.
And for you coming from Dunmore, that was my first apartment. I lived on Dunmore. I lived in Dunmore, behind, like right behind in caddy corner to the Rita's that's over there. So I could walk
Oh
to
yeah.
Rita's, which is a very good thing. And so, but I do want to get your thoughts on how you would describe Dunmore, Mike, because it's like you're in Scranton and boom, it's Dunmore. It's right there. It's kind of like parallel streets. And it's like you blink, you're out of it, but it's also like a nice little area of people. And it's, typically, I mean, to me, it was always nice and quiet, and people walk their dogs, wave to you and whatnot. How would you describe Dunmore?
I like it here. It's like it's a small town. Like I feel like once you leave your house, like you're gonna at least see like one person every time. And like it's funny you saying like you were like living near Rita's, you felt like you could walk like to there. Like I don't know, just growing up here, like I still can remember back to when I was young. I feel like you could walk almost to anywhere in Dunmore. Like it's just like it's such a small town, like everybody. I don't know. I feel like you don't really have to be like worried here either. So it's just like a nice town. I feel like it was like a nice town to grow up in.
Yeah, I mean, I remember I was walking my dog Shady at the time, and we got lost, and it was at night, and I turned some corner or something I didn't normally go down, and I was like, don't worry, Shady, focus. There's like 4 blocks, so we'll make it around a corner. We'll figure it out. But Mike, for you in the community now, obviously, you grew up in Dunmore and whatnot. But what are your things to do? Like when you had some time to yourself, because I had things that I always did. There's hobbies that I have, and I carried them over into Scranton area and whatnot to Marywood for the most part. What are some things that you like to do besides baseball?
Sometimes like I mean, since I'm like home, I just like I still have like these guys go back to like home, like I still have like all of like my friends like coming back from school, so just like hanging out with them, like I don't know, like picking up a basketball or something, like playing like pickup, or even just like going over to someone's house and just hanging out for a little while. I don't know, like I really do feel like it doesn't like what I do here, it doesn't like it honestly doesn't like change too much. It's just like who I'm doing, like the things I'm doing that with. It definitely is weird though, like the transition, like from when everybody's leaving and coming back, because there'll be like a 2 week period in time where like I feel like I'm the only person in Dunmore, and it's definitely like a weird feeling to have.
Yeah, that definitely, that's when you start putting up all your mayoral signs and you make sure when people come back that they all know who they're voting for. Vinny, for you, coming, from just outside of the New York City area and whatnot, what besides, playing baseball and being on campus and whatnot, coming from Walden, New York, what did you, what were the things that you like to do? Were there places you like to go? Were there restaurants? Was there some hobby things that you like to do and whatnot? I always want to, and I don't think I've ever asked anybody this, that when you're on 81 and you're heading toward like Montage Mountain and all of that, there's that giant hill of old cars. It's just like that trash area. I don't know if you guys know the area, but there's that massive like wall of, this is how polluted, and just like we just throw things somewhere. And I remember thinking to myself, has anybody ever gone over there? So I mean, at least you notice what I'm talking about. But 80, and I'm sure Mike, you know about it, because it's like you literally get right on the highway from Dunmore and it's there on the left. But what things did you do, Vinny? And did you have any hobby stuff that you like to do? Any places you like to go?
To be honest, my biggest hobby has always been baseball. So spring, school ball, and then summer and fall was strictly travel ball. I played a year of football in high school, a year of soccer, a year of track to keep me busy, just because I didn't really have that hobby. Like I know a lot of people around the Scranton area like to ski, snowboard. That's not for me. I do honestly play a lot of video games. I think these two can agree to that. So that's a good way to kill time. But no, most of the time I'm outside doing something sports related. Like right now I'm in Myrtle Beach for an internship working with Ripken Baseball. So I'm outside all day just hanging around baseball as an extra hand. So anything that can keep me active.
You said you're down in Myrtle Beach doing an internship with Ripken Baseball, and congratulations on that. What can you say your Marywood education and marketing has done to help prepare you for this internship that you get to enjoy right now?
I think it's laid a very good groundwork for what to expect in the real world. It's not necessarily just book work, but there's a lot of experience that the professors give us to be prepared for something like this. And I think my own expertise within baseball kind of goes hand in hand with that and allows me to get like a good grasp of the duties that I'm assigned to down here.
So what do you get to do?
I'm actually a tournament operations work helper. So basically for youth tournaments, anywhere from 10U to 16U, I'll announce the next batter that's coming up, do music, scoreboard, then I'll help lock up, all that stuff. And then throughout the week, I have to help set up all the stuff. So I gotta rip baseballs, I gotta drive around golf carts, shuttle people around, just a bunch of odd jobs. But it's really cool because I get to see how the operations work without necessarily being directly involved with it. And it's a very cool experience, especially getting my foot in the door in terms of working in the sports industry.
Yeah, and that education, like you said, that you had, that was hands-on and in the book and whatnot at Marywood University, like you said, you feel like it helped lay a foundation for you, and that speaks volumes about what Marywood is to all of us. I mean, I say it all the time. I came in 2003. I worked with ESPN affiliates, I worked with Fox affiliates, I worked with Yahoo affiliates, and now I own my own business, and we turned 10 years old this July. and it all started at Marywood. So I'm happy to hear that there's a foundation being laid for you there that you can appreciate thanks to your education at Marywood University. Nick, your thoughts on it from Clark Summit. You got a Sheets now that's massive.
Yes.
I remember going to
Soon.
What'd you say?
They're tearing the Sheets in Clark Summit down. They're building the big one.
Oh, yeah, and I saw that. I saw that there's a renovation because I came in before.
Yeah.
I came in, and that one's pretty big, but I came in before, all that went down, and then I saw the construction. So they're building a bigger Big Sheets, is what you're saying?
Yeah, one with like they have seating and stuff, kind of like the one in Dixon City, I think. Or like there's like seating and stuff, and like I think they're gonna, I don't know, like sell alcohol type of one. Like the big ones, I don't know, but I heard it's gonna be massive. Yeah.
Mine as well, like right there, since they got some space, have like an outdoor like amphitheater or maybe like a big screen where you can eat food, watch a movie, Sandlot, and get some French toast sticks at 4:00 in the afternoon. Like there's nothing wrong with that. But
yeah,
I mean, Clark Summit, when I was coming through there was a few restaurants, there was like a Weiss, and then there was Freedom Bridge, right? And there was like nothing else. And then I came off there, and I remember thinking to myself, I was driving from New York City, or I was driving from Long Island, and I got off the exit and I said, I got to get gas. Like I'll find something to eat, figure something out. I come off the exit and I was blown away by the fact that this like area that's all like beneath a mountain type of feel to it, that it's all been, industrialized, evolved. What are your thoughts coming from Clark Summit that, we've seen this evolution and expansion of what it is? How would you describe it now?
It's definitely interesting because kind of like Dunmore, like Aronica was saying, like it's like really small town. And I mean, like they had like you said, like used to be like a couple restaurants, but now there's more, like there's Chipotle there now. They're building new Sheets, Wendy's. Yeah, I mean, they're just, I mean, they only have like that little strip to work with, I guess, which is kind of interesting because they have to like be smart with, I guess, what they're putting there. But yeah, definitely has gotten like a lot more like chains type of businesses.
Did you have any hobbies growing up that transferred over to Marywood? And like Mike, being so close to Marywood University, growing up and whatnot, did things just kind of feel the same, or have you brought other things into your life since coming to Marywood?
I don't know. I still do like most of the same like hobbies I do. Like I like fish, ski, and kind of just like I live home, so it's like the same like routine for me, I guess.
I was trying to hope that one of you gentlemen would say that you've at least been to Cinemark, because it's one of, if not my favorite movie theater. I actually worked there when I was at Marywood for a little bit to make some money on the side. And I got lost the first couple of weeks of coming to Marywood. This was like before GPS on your phone and all this stuff making it easy and whatnot. We got lost trying to drive there. We drove to some back road, drove through a gate that was open. It was like nighttime misty, looked like Jurassic Park. I have no idea where we ended up, but it's like 10 minutes away. Maybe we got lost for 2 hours and ended up, I think, at Walmart and just said, let's have a great day. But have you at least been to Cinemark?
Is that the one at Montage?
It is the one.
Or is that, yeah, that's nice. So yeah, kind of like what you said, like in Clark Summit, like when I was like in high school and stuff, like I would never leave Clark Summit or like do anything in Scranton. Like I kind of just like treated it like it was like so far away, or like I must have at least, because like but when I came to Marywood, there was so much more stuff that like I never even knew existed so close to me. Like it was like kind of a different world, even though it was like 25 minutes away. So yeah, kind of, I guess what you said.
All right. So Vinny, you nodded. So you've been to Cinemark at least?
Yeah, I've been over there once or twice, but I like what Nick said about like there's so much more than you realize. Back at home where I'm from, I went to a Catholic school that was 20, 30 minutes away from my house. So I was used to traveling fairly far, but it wasn't a big deal for me to get somewhere. Like traveling 20 minutes, 30 minutes was not considered necessarily a long ride. In Scranton, traveling 20, 30 minutes is a long, I found that the locals find that that's a very long way to travel to get somewhere. There's just so much in Scranton within a 5 to 10 minute radius that like you don't need to go too far. It's funny that Nick said he never really left Clark Summit growing up, because there is a lot in Clark Summit. There's a lot in Scranton. There's pretty much everything you need in one spot, which is funny about Scranton because it's not necessarily the biggest geographically. With necessarily, there's a lot more people there than you'll realize.
Vinny, how would you describe, to go off of that, how would you describe Marywood University's campus? Because when I came onto campus, I know University of Scranton's down the road. University of Scranton's like set inside of a city, right? It's like, boom, right there in the city. There's people going around, places to park, parallel parking, all that stuff. And then you come 4 minutes down the road, 4 minutes, and you're at Marywood University, and it's quiet and it's surrounded by a community, and there's an arboretum, and people come on campus and they bring their friends that come into town and their family just to look at the campus like it's a growing museum, a living museum. So how would you describe Marywood University? Because the way I told people, and so many people were like, oh yeah, you went to that school that has that electric sign, because they used to have an electric sign. Marywood used to have, like, it put the weather up, and they put like the temperature and the time, and it was on 81. And now there's the Marywood Pacer there that's on 81 that I see every time. And I still, even though I've been to Marywood a billion times, went to school there, constantly coming on campus, I still look at I get so prideful when I see the Pacer, and I still crane my neck back unsafely when I'm driving, and I'm like, oh, look, that's us. So, but I know that I describe Marywood in a certain way, and I still feel that love, and I still feel that like community and that safety. How would you describe Marywood?
Yeah, it's right at the border of Dunmore and Scranton. Might be able to determine which one it is. I think by address it's Scranton, but the surrounding area is called Greenridge. It's very family-oriented area that you will constantly. There's not one nice day that you won't see somebody out walking their dog. There's kids around playing. It's a playground right off the back of campus. It's just a very homey area with some historic homes. I know President Joe Biden's house that he grew up in is right off Marywood's campus. So that's a bit of an attraction during the election months. But it's kind of set back. There's only a couple roads in and a couple roads out. And then even when you drive by it on the highway, I say sometimes to my friends, I wish there was an exit for us to get off and go right on the campus, because you see it from the highway and you're literally only a couple 100 feet away from campus, but then you got to drive 5 minutes around town to get into the front of campus. Because like I said, there's only one way in. So yeah, it's nice that it's tucked away, but it's still very relevant to those passing by on the highway.
Nick, what would you say, coming from Clark Summit? How would you describe Marywood University and the campus?
I don't know. I kind of see it as like, it's like a little corner, and it's very like, I see it very like secluded. Like there's like the highway is like a good like back for it, and then it's just like a little corner, and it's like you said, like has like trees and everything, and it's like makes it peaceful, and just like a little corner of Dunmore. And yeah,
I like that it's like it's there, like you guys are describing it, but it's its own entity. Like it's
like it's all together. Like the U is all like, you don't know what's the U, what's LAC, but Marywood, it's all there, and it's organized, kind of, I guess might be the word. I don't know.
Yeah, no, and it's consistently grown as well, because they have that area to work with, which is awesome. Mike, being from Dunmore, you could probably describe it best in its evolution. How would you describe Marywood University?
I mean, coming from like Dunmore High School, it's literally Dunmore High School's backyard. Like you could see both campuses at once. I mean, being from the area, I mean, definitely a little bit biased, but I feel like just like the campus alone, I feel like it's definitely like one of the nicest campuses around here. Like I didn't really apply to too many local schools, just because I had my eyes set, like if I was going to stay somewhere like local, it was going to be here. But I don't know, like even growing up, like I would come over here for like extra tutoring and stuff. Like my grandparents live in the Green Ridge section, like Vinny was saying. I don't know, like just growing up around here, like I really always just like loved the campus, like seeing it change, like even like the new library that they just put in, like it's like I don't know, it's just like really nice. Like there's always like a nice view that you could see from like almost anywhere on campus.
Yeah, I love it. And you just keep going up the hill and you can see more and more. So it's a beautiful place. Before I let you guys go, 22 wins, ties the record for most ever in Marywood baseball history for a single season. Mike, your thoughts on making history at Marywood?
I mean, definitely, it's definitely a really good feeling. It is the only like little like salty taste that definitely is in the mouth is like missing out on 5 potential games. So like 5 extra chances to possibly like break it, but it definitely is like an amazing feeling, like finishing off that season, like coming off of a shortened season and then coming in like making some noise like this year, tying the record. It's definitely like a good way to like leave an impact on there, but I feel like missing out on those 5 games is definitely like it's like a little bit of like a salty taste just because you realize you had like 5 extra chances to like get something done.
You talk about missing out on games. We have seen that. I mean, the world was taken away from student athletes. When you look back on that and the fact that I know you have a salty taste on 5 games and wanting to pass that 22 wins and get to at least 23, if not 27 in that case. What can you say about having the game stolen away and the fact that there really was no antidote for that?
I mean, it's almost like a wake up call. It really makes you like appreciate what like you have in the moment. Like I know definitely coming off of like last year with like a shortened season, it's like just like straight off the bat, like getting back into like the normal routine. Like you don't take anything for granted. Like every single time you get out on like the mound or like step foot on the field, it's like a different feel because like you know what it feels like to have something like taken away from you or have something shortened on you. So like in a way it really does make you like appreciate the sport and like being able to step on that field just because you realize like how easily that could be taken away from you.
Yeah, I totally understand that, and I appreciate that. Nick, I know Nick's got to pop out here, but Nick, your quick thoughts here on the season and having some stuff taken away from you prior to.
Um, Aronica said it's kind of bittersweet. I mean, it sucks you didn't make playoffs too, but I guess that's just unfinished business for next year. But yeah, no, I was very proud of our team. We played well. We overcame like a lot of adversity last year and the year before with the whole COVID thing, and we like didn't get like lazy throughout the whole like process of not playing. We like practiced and we dealt with COVID and we just overcame it pretty well, and we worked hard. We stuck together and we were close. We were really close this year.
Yeah, and it was a fantastic season. I'm very proud of you guys. Vinny, really quick here, your thoughts on the season as we wrap up this special edition of Pacer Pride with the Marywood University Pacers baseball team.
Yeah, this season, although it didn't end the way we wanted to, I think we could all look back and say overall it was a successful season. I mean, tying the win record is huge. But at the beginning of the year, I think you could have asked any of us and we would have told you we were going to break that win record. It was on all of our minds. We knew what the number was and we wanted it more than anything. And like Mike said, we missed, I think it was 3 or 4 games from rainouts or and cancellations. So who knows what would have happened if we were to play those? Who knows what would have happened if we made playoffs? So there's a lot of what ifs. A lot of games we lost within 1 or 2 runs, which sting looking back. But we had a lot of experience and great leadership on this team this year, and everybody wanted it. The difference between this year and some of the past is that, like Nick said, we were so much tighter knit as a group than ever before. There was no drama. We all wanted it. We all had each other's backs. and it led to success on and off the field. And I think we really enjoyed ourselves this year with a core group of guys, Nick and Mike being our two aces, so to speak. You can't decide who's an ace out of those two. They were always going double headers for us, our most consistent pitchers, and we knew when those guys were on the mound, we had a very good shot at winning. So it was a lot of trust and a lot of trust that went around throughout the team, and a lot of good chemistry, which led to success.
Yeah, and an incredible season. And I'm so proud to have, been able to cover and be a part of what Jason is building and his staff and what every single one of you is doing to build this team up. It's been truly incredible. I'm so happy there was a season. Happy you guys got to 22. I'm happy that you tied the record. And I know that, you're laying a foundation for future success. So thank you for all you're doing. Thank you to Nick, who had to jump to class. Also a really good sign here, right? We're having a conversation. Somebody has to go to class and he goes to class to be on time. So good for you, Nick. So for Nick Notari from Clark Summit, Pennsylvania, for Mike Aronica of Dunmore, Pennsylvania, and Vinny D'Auria of Walden, New York, I want to thank Marywood Baseball for being this spotlight of Pacer Pride. And God bless to all you guys. Thank you so much for being a part of today's show. And once again, on behalf of me and of everyone that really should be saying this, past, present, and future Pacers, thank you for what you guys did this season. We really are proud of you, and I'm very excited for what's to come.
Thank you, Dan. We appreciate that.
Thank you for having us.
All right. Talk to you guys soon. Take care.
Appreciate it.